Hey, welcome. Today we're diving into something really powerful, the Theology of Increase, based on a sermon by Apostle Joshua Selman. We're going to break down what it actually means to grow and expand on every side. So let's jump right in.
So right off the bat, the whole teaching is anchored in this one powerful promise from the Psalms. The idea here is that increase isn't just about money or your bank account. No, it's a divine promise for growth in your greatness and your comfort in every single area of your life. This is really the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about.
Okay, so before we get into the nuts and bolts, the how-to part, the sermon first lays the groundwork. It argues that you have to understand increase as a core foundational principle. That's the essential first step. Now, what's so interesting here is the framing. The source material doesn't present increase as this nice-to-have thing you can kind of hope for. Instead, it's framed as a non-negotiable command. It's a core part of a believer's journey, and it's something that's deeply, deeply rooted in Scripture. And to back this up, the sermon points to this consistent theme that runs all through the Bible. It starts with God being the source of all increase. Then you see Jesus himself increasing in wisdom and stature and favor. He demonstrates it, right? Feeding thousands with just a little. He even taught on it with things like the parable of the talents. And then you see the early apostles experiencing this just explosive growth. The point is clear. This isn't some isolated idea. It's a thread woven through the entire story. Okay, so that naturally leads to a really important question, right? If this concept is so central, we need to be crystal clear on what we're talking about. What does the word increase actually mean here?
And here's the definition we get. It's about becoming progressively greater. And what does that mean? It means today is always an improvement on yesterday. It's this constant forward momentum. And this growth happens in 4 specific ways: growing in your size, in your volume, in your number, and in the intensity of your impact.
All right, so we've got a definition. We know what increase is. But that just begs the next question, doesn't it? Why? Why would God even want believers to increase in the first place? What's the real motivation behind this whole mandate?
Well, the sermon boils it down to these 3 core reasons. First, simply put, your success reflects well on God. Second, when you see real progress in your life, it acts as a consolation, a tangible bit of encouragement that makes the whole journey of faith that much more joyful. And third, when you increase, you're equipped with more resources, more influence to actually go out and be a blessing to other people. And this verse just perfectly sums up that primary purpose. The idea is that your good works, your success, your growth, your impact, they act like a light. They become this visible proof that makes other people look and ultimately points them back to God. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Now for the really practical part, the actionable principles, these so-called kingdom laws that are said to actually unlock and activate this increase in your life.
And this is absolutely crucial. The big argument here is that increase isn't just wishful thinking or some random stroke of luck. No, it's a result. It's cause and effect. If you engage with these specific principles, the teaching says you will see the result.
So key number 1, it all starts with the strength of your connection to the divine source. The analogy used is just so powerful. A branch can't produce a single grape on its own. It's impossible. It has to be connected to the vine to get the life, the nutrients, everything it needs to grow. And this verse right here, this is the scriptural heart of that first principle. It says it as plainly as can be. Just like a branch depends on the vine, any fruitfulness, any increase in our lives is totally dependent on our connection to that spiritual source.
Okay, moving on to key number 2. You have to be relentless in your pursuit of knowledge. And we're not just talking about one kind of knowledge. The sermon breaks it down into 3 layers: knowledge of God, knowledge of these kingdom principles, and of course, practical knowledge in your specific field or expertise.
All right, key number 3. This one is all about faithfulness. The logic is pretty straightforward. How you manage the little things you have right now is basically an audition for whether you can be trusted with more. And this quote from the parable of the talents just nails that point home. It shows a clear progression. Prove you can be trusted with a little bit, and you'll be given responsibility and authority over a whole lot more.
And the 4th key, this one's all about your attitude. According to the sermon, an attitude of gratitude, of thanksgiving, literally opens the door for more to come into your life. But on the flip side, complaining, focusing on what you don't have, that's set to stifle and slam the door shut on your potential for increase.
Okay, so we have those 4 keys. But then, the sermon brings it all home with this final, massive idea. It's a total shift in how you look at everything we've just talked about.
And here it is. Increase is not something you just passively wait for. It is a harvest that you actively have to cultivate. And the crucial part is this. God multiplies the seed that is sown, the one you put in the ground, the one you put to work, not the seed you just hold on to. This completely reframes increase from a gift you receive to a result you grow.
So you might be asking, what does sowing even look like in real life? Well, the sermon makes it clear it's not just about money. You sow with your words when you speak with faith. You sow with your actions when you perform acts of goodness. And you sow with your character by showing diligence and honor in all you do.
And so that brings us right back to you, with this one last, really powerful question. It's the summary of the whole call to action. If increase is a harvest, and you're the one planting the seeds every single day with your words, your actions, and your attitudes, what kind of harvest are you really cultivating for your future?